Good morning, Brian with Grand Roofing. Doing another quick re-inspection of this property here. So it's going to be a worst roof ever, but there's a little bit we can learn from this. Without too much boringness in the beginning of the video, we're going to get into do an inspection on this, but choose your contractors wisely. Make sure you have everything in writing and just do a little research. Take a little time. This is a very unfortunate situation, but we're going to get into see if we can learn some things on this property here, and I'll give you a little bit of info. I can't go give it a lot of detail, where it is, who did it. I'm not supposed to give that out. At first I didn't even know, but I did find out, and it's not my job to share that. They're doing a bad enough job with the reputation, but if I can save you guys, the homeowners, the viewers out there, that's the intent here. So let's just get into this, do a quick inspection. As I said, it's a very unfortunate, sad situation. So let's just see what we can see here and try to learn something from this. So I've been here once. Basically somebody was contracted to do the roof here and some other various things. As you can see, just painting around right here without walking around, you can see the material up here. It's unfinished. You can see a very small row across here. It's not good. Point out down here while I'm still standing here. It's got gutters, but you can't see them because they literally roofed the shingle down over the gutter and shot through the gutter tops. Actually, let's jump back onto this ladder here and I'll show you that too. It's very sad. So these are the style gutters that are not perforated or open on the top. They're the no drip, or I can't remember what they call them. Basically, the water's supposed to flow due to water surface tension, wick back up under. They smashed them. There's downspouts missing. I guess I don't know if that was missing from them or not, but I don't believe the gutters were smashed this bad. And you can see over there, it's smashed over there. There's a pile of trash still over there. Neighbors over here, last time I talked, said it was a joke. They were here way too long. The shingles are actually shot through the gutter topper. The shingles should be hung over the bottom edge of the roof, but not this far over the gutter and not shot through the gutter topper. It's all destroyed. There's a section when I was here, right down here, that actually had nails through the topper. I'm not gonna go show that right now. There's more we can actually learn from this. Just coming up the valley here, for the pitch of the roof, it's not pushed down far enough. I don't know if it'll show it, but you can see just by pushing on this here, see if I can show you here, it goes down, and I'd be afraid to push down too hard to get it into the valley, because what happens if that's not laid in there or laid down in there before they shoot the shingles down, it's not resting on anything. So if you put weight on this valley, and a lot of people walk up a valley, it's not good to, so please don't. You can stand near it, don't walk in the middle. It's a very crucial area to channel all the water from this whole section down, so you do not want to destroy your roof. Furthermore, you don't want keyways in the valley, and you don't want nails near the valley. So just looking right here, there's a keyway, drip groove in the valley. These shingles are shot down in the valley. It's not right. I highly doubt they even clip the corners. See that right there? Manufacturers don't want this. If you do a close cut valley, which is what this is, those need to be nipped off. Another keyway in the valley. It's just not right. It's not good. It's actually cut too far over this way. Without going into all the crucial issues of this, just trust me, it's not right, and you want to make sure they're pushed down, because if you're up here and you stand on that, you're probably going to break the shingle, which is going to be disastrous. Big old scuff mark here. There was an area last week I was here, and the shingles weren't stagger patterned correctly. They weren't offset far enough. There's like a 1-inch, 2-inch row right here. Let's jump over here real quick. This here was mind-blowing, because there's no counter flashing. Probably when this home was built had flashing behind the brick, but you know what I can see? I see paper right there. There's no flashing, there's no step flashing. Even if they went over the old layer flashing, this is just not right. There's no flashing here. And even given the benefit of the doubt, if they were gonna come back later, which I promise you they weren't, you wouldn't step the step flashing in after the fact. You would do it during the roof. So this shingle goes down, flashing on the headlap side of it, then the shingle covers it. You repeat the process. Then you would grind a channel, either straight line down or stair step it through the mortar joints, whichever. It's not done. Hey, at least they didn't cover the gutter thing down there. And again, I want to reiterate the fact that this is not to bash any particular one contractor, but just give some insight to homeowners and things to look for. Looking at the front here, it looks like it's one layer, like they tore it down. It's not always the case. I've seen roofs where they'll trim back on the edges, and it looks like one layer. The front does appear to have been tore off, because typically if you do that trimming back little trick there, which is a little con artist trick, you'll see a slight hump up from the top coming down. So I do believe they tore off the front, and I see this quite a bit. They'll tear off a front because that's what they see. The backside is all wooded. I've even seen where elderly couples, they can't go out and they can't see, and they will roof over. We'll get to that too. Unfinished. No ventilation in this. That valley's raised up same way. Trash and debris left up here. Small nail pot maybe. Little pieces just kind of tabbed in. This is not good. The shingles here are disastrous. We will look from down yonder at this, and I'll point out, pay attention to that. You'll see some craziness with it. These people had no business up here roofing. They have no business being in construction or trades, period. I mean, looking at the quality of this is horrible. You could have a kid in high school try to get into some physical manual labor with any bit of common sense, know that this stuff is not good. We'll look over the front, then jump over the back. Now looking down this, see these rows? See how they ski jump up out that way? They just jump to the moon. I mean, literally this whole top row and that row there completely disappear. And this third row right here, if you follow it, goes up to where the ridge will cover. Let me zoom in. That's bad. That's horrible. If I did this on any company I'd ever worked for, I'd probably been fired. They wouldn't even have been able to get that far. What you can do, one of two things. You can crack lines from that ridge down, same over here, and if you got a valley, you crack it on both sides of the valley, and you just work an even line off the top center ridge downward, and those are your top lines. You crack them every 20, 30, 40, whatever inch mark you need, so it hits the top side of a shingle, and like every fourth row or whatever, you'll hit that line. You might have one row down a 1/4 inch or something, but it's not gonna do this at the end. The other thing you can do is just start running off the bottom, smaller section, it gets bigger, you have more room for air coming up valleys, but as you get 2/3 of the way up, before you come up over that valley right there, measure up to your ridge, measure from over here to your ridge, whatever that is. If it's crooked, adjust, just do the math and drop one side, not in one row, definitely not like they did right here. Like this row right here, horrible. And I'm guessing they dropped it because it's right at the top of that vent or that ridge right there, that ridge line coming in. So what you'll do is you'll drop several rows, about a 1/2 inch or something, however many inches. I hope you're not out that far or not this bad, but that's a way to fix that. These are little things that skilled contractors, skilled employees, they're aware of. Little tricks they gain in the industry over time. They work with somebody that's done it, that has a good reputation, and they can learn, oh hey, let's not get it that bad. Never gonna have something like this be a finished product. That's not even finished, it's not done. Just little things like that. I mean, these people had no business up here. What do you see the stuff on the back? It's just mind-blowing. When you get people doing this, I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's not good. It should never have been this bad. But people that have a good reputation, people that are gonna stand behind their work, it's never gonna get this bad in the first place. And if there is an issue and they have a good reputation, they will take care of it. I can't say that these people were necessarily looking for the cheapest price because this is a different disaster. I think this is more of a con artist here, taking advantage of people. We'll get down to that here in a second. I noticed somewhere, yeah, right here. My guess is they brought this side up, then they tried to bring this side up, and they tied in. And you gotta admire the creativity of what they tried to do here, at least, where they nipped the corners because they were jagged. Just doop, 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 so it's a little more appealing to the eye. It's still really crooked. At least got a disappearing row right here. They were just simply throwing shingles down, not giving a care about anything else. Look at this, all the way down. Kind of disappears down there, that pipe. Flashing, never replaced anything. It doesn't appear that they replaced anything. See paper up over the top of the flashing on this dryer, stove vent, whatever it is. It's older, we would have replaced it, whatever. If you're gonna reuse it, tuck under it. Well, the problem is this is actually under another layer of roofing. They never tore this side off. Same with this one here. It's not tucked on top of a row of shingles. This is a 2-layer roof now. Same on this B-vent flue pipe here. They ran paper over it. Don't want to destroy anything, but yeah, you can see they papered over the flange and just went to town. I'm pretty sure if you look over on the edge here, yeah, you can see the other layer of shingles under there. Let's just pull the old classic, let's put paper down over the top and they'll never know. And who's gonna see when it's all wooded like that back here? Ridge isn't finished. I do know, I had seen over here, and we'll look at that here in a second. This one, same thing, it's got paper run over it. They didn't tear it off, it's not flashed right. So if you got a dimensional shingle that has a better warranty, you can't use, at least to my knowledge, use a 20-year 3-tab glass shingle and cut it for hip and ridge because it doesn't carry the same warranty. You can't magically take a 3-tab shingle with 20-year warranty, cut it into ridge, and then be the 30, 40, 50-year limited warranties, which, by the way, is a marketing scheme. Flashing here is a disaster. I got paper coming up, never extended anything. Looks like I smashed a little bit. Nothing is tucked. The flashing on the bottom should come out on top of a row, whether it's visible over the shingle or catches the headlap of this shingle. It's not there, nothing's extended. You can see just really bad. Nails in the wrong area. You can see a gap down into the first layer of shingle down in there. This valley's not pushed down, it's raised up. Some of the areas, the offset, the pattern was not even close to being where it needed to be. I don't remember where it was. Like I said, it was like a week or so ago I was here and had to come do a quick recheck on this here. The skylights themselves, they had shot through the flashing everywhere. They've got foil tape. I guess that's their version of flashing. Probably stuck right down on top of the paper because it's under the shingles. They've got nails right in the high volume traffic water area here coming down, splitting off of the skylight going down each side right into these areas is not good. They did not reflash it. They simply roofed over the old layer. Yeah, I can't get in there, can't see, but I know they did not retuck anything. They just roofed over it. But the skylight itself is in really bad shape. It's looked like it's been caulked in the past at some point. It's coming apart here. Even if you were to replace the flashing, the light itself is in real bad shape, so it really needs to be just replaced. Same with the next skylight. Look at this. Let's catch water under here. Hit the nails right over keyway, above a keyway, drip groove. Yeah, no flashing. It's down below the original layer, and they shot close to it. There's just so many things that are just really not good here. We're gonna get into this here in a second. That's hideous. That's worse than the Frankenstein. I got some soft wood to this here. I can pick my fingernail into it. This is an older skylight that actually opens. It's got a blind in it. They're more of a custom style. They're hard to get. A lot of places don't just stock them. You have to order them. Shingles just bent up it. All right, let's get into this here. There's kind of a couple rule of thumb when you're riffing a section on what side you do first. And the rule of thumb is basically what size the section is and what's lower. So say that ridge there comes in a lot lower, you would roof that first and this would come over. There's a couple exceptions to that when you have transitions or difference in pitch. But what we would have done here is lace the bottom side because it's kind of a weird angle where you have a valley and a hip coming into it. Once you're laced a few up, by the way, there's ice and water under everything, we would have transitioned into running this side up first and crossing over plenty far, pressed into the valley, keeping your nail pattern out of the valley and making sure that your keyways, your butt grooves, your butt joints are out of the valley. This side would cross over. You would make sure if it is a close cut valley, you would nip the corners. Otherwise, you can do a W metal valley, open W metal valley in there, or even a California valley, which is my preferred, below a metal valley. Sometimes if you've got a larger section that carries more water or the pitch change, you would do it in reverse. If you're not sure, ask somebody. You don't get into those very often. But this hip here, you would never roll a shingle like that either. You'd actually have 1, 2, 3 different facets right here that come together in this bottom. You really have 2 facets that join, would be laced. Your third would start here. So when this is all said and done, this shingle would run this way because water's going to run down these. So you'd run it direction going up to the ridge because that's just not right. This same way. You would have a hip coming down here with hip and ridge, which is that stuff, but you wouldn't run it all the way down. What you would do is you would kind of start lacing just out of the bottom where the water's rushing this valley here. You would lace those two so they're kind of tucked under in certain areas. It's really hard to describe. You just have to see it in the process. And you would watch your nail placement because you don't want water coming down a valley going into your ridge cap nails. So we do see this, but they're not the most common. Typically you'll have just a valley with different hip sections and not a hip that terminates in a valley like this. Either way, it's bad. It's not right. Nothing with this is correct. Torn shingle right over keyway. Another pipe boot. I don't really know what they were doing here. Again, it is roofed over. They may have put tape in it. Stacked keyway too close. Disappearing rim almost. I mean, you just don't do this. It does not look right. It's not good. And shingles aren't even nailed up here. Way down on the end there, you can see it gets pretty crooked. We have rotten missing trim board down here. There's a big hole down here. This, I can't say was the contractor that was just recently here, or whoever it was, whether it was an individual or contractor. It's under the original roof layer. But right here, I've talked about it in videos, you need to have that bottom piece of flashing kick out to get out from your wall. So it's actually rotted everything out down there. And there's that other hidden row of shingles, the other layer. I really don't know if they were actually contracted to tear off the back or just roof over the back. But let's just be real here. What contractor, what reputable contractor is going to tear off a section and word in, they're going to roof over the back? It just typically doesn't happen. So this is my assumption. Maybe I'm wrong. Scammer. Doesn't care about anything but what's going in his pocket. I really hope that people learn to do a little digging on contractors to look and see if they are good or not. Do Google search reviews. Do reviews on different platforms. And on that note, there's some scamming platforms out there. I'm not a fan of Yelp. I know some people talk greatly about it, and the BBB, Better Business Bureau, kind of a catchy name, has nothing to do with the business bureau or government agency, which that's its own story right there. But it's got a catchy name, and I know there's platforms like that if you have a bad review, you can in a sense pay to play and pay those platforms to remove bad reviews. They'll tell you it's not possible, but I know people that have done it. Google can't really do that. And if you're on Facebook and you're just going to like a Facebook board or something, hey, who's good? Do your own due diligence. I know this sounds bad, but when people say, hey, who's good, and then you just get all these people blasting names out there, I'll be the first to tell you, I don't pay a bit of attention to that, because it tells me that people are looking for price and solely price. There's so many more people that are going to cut corners and be cheaper than me that don't care. I've actually gone back and fixed things that have been less than perfect, less than good, less than satisfied. I've seen other contractors do disastrous work, roof over bad decking, just nightmare of an issue, and never go back and fix it. Furthermore, if you're looking into using a contractor, don't hesitate to ask and say, hey, do you have liability insurance? If you burn my house down, do you have insurance they're going to pick it up? Don't be scared to ask. I usually carry them printed out in the truck. If not, I got a digital PDF we can email over or show you. It's not a big deal. Another thing, reputable companies pay their bills. Most reputable companies pay their bills. Some people don't. I don't know if you know, at least in Indiana, I've had to do this once, and suppliers can do this. Say a contractor does a job like this and doesn't pay their supplier bill. That supplier can go file a mechanics lien on that property. It's a junior lien, it's a mechanics lien, just a lien on the property, so it doesn't supersede any like first mortgages, things like that. It's not a guaranteed deal, but if you ever want to sell the home, that mechanics lien needs to be taken care of. Your contractor may have skipped his bill to a supplier, but a supplier can file a lien. I said I've done that. I've had a property management company stiff me on a bill. I'm like, hey, I'm going to file a mechanics lien or a lien on the property, okay? Tell your investor you're managing this property for, there's a lien filed on the property. Let's see if you keep business right there. I want to get paid. You contracted me to do the job. It's all spelled out. It's all written out. We did great. Everything's documented, and you're trying to stiff me on a bill. Your property owner is going to get a lien on the property. Suppliers can do that too. I don't know about other states, but in Indiana it can happen. So there's so much more that can go wrong. I mean, like this here. How much money got invested into this, and it's all got to come off. You can't salvage this. This is not good. I don't know how long ago, a few weeks ago it was done. It's not even finished. It's probably causing issues with water pouring in areas. And it's going to be very costly to fix all these mistakes everywhere. It's a sizable, now it's a 2-layer tear off. It's a little pitchy, it's not bad. There's a lot of work, a lot of labor, a lot of material that's just thrown out the door. It's all gone. So we're going long on this one. It's a very, very unfortunate circumstance. I mean, just disastrous. You shouldn't see rows like this, that jagged. So it almost tells me either they weren't paying attention when they're shooting it down. If they did shoot it down, is it shot in the wrong area? It's actually lifting up. I don't even know if they got nails in it, and then it slid down lower on the roof before they shot it. One more side here, take a quick peek at. Another section here, completely roofed up with no flashing whatsoever. There's no flashing here. You can see in the old layer. Hell, even the first roofer that did this when it was a new home has no flashing in there. You can see paper sticking up. There's nothing. I see the old layer of shingles. So again, to wrap up here, I can't make a living bashing contractors. Honestly, I don't know why contractors bash each other. If they just worry about themselves and do good and make a good reputation for themselves, they'll continue to get business. There's so much business out there. I'm too busy at this point right now. I'm having a hard time keeping a good family balance right now because I've got so much work coming in. I don't advertise. Word of mouth, yard signs, that's about it. I mean, I'm not knocking advertising. Losing my train of thought here. My job is to not call out who did this. If they do this kind of work, it's going to catch up to them pretty quick. Which brings me to another thing. They can always just... Are they even operating under a business, or is it just a chuck in a truck, a pickup? You know, are they tape? I've literally seen signs with a duct tape on a truck. I really admire people trying to make a living and better themselves, their families financially, but there's a good way and a bad way. You don't take advantage of others to benefit yourself. That will be the fastest way to ruin your reputation, but I've seen where people just go out of business, start a new one. That happens too, and that's bad, and that's unfortunate. If you are looking at getting a roof done, please vet your potential contractors. Look up reviews. Take a few minutes, take a few hours. Ask people in your community, who would you recommend? Are they good? It's not just a simple one quick answer and the problem is solved. You're going to have to use your gut feeling. You're going to have to put a little time into it. And again, this is a little bit of a different circumstance. It's very unfortunate, but I see this stuff way too often. I see so many bad roofs in my area here. It's ridiculous. So, if you could, you know what to do. If I could get this channel to a point where it's paying decent, I want to do better givebacks for people, and military families especially. People in tough times. Not people that just be like, oh, you know, I got an issue here because I didn't do my own due diligence, but just unfortunate events happen. I want to be able to give back and to be able to help my community to do that, and I can't do that until I'm successful. I spent way too long doing this for other people. They didn't care about me, so I started my own company trying to deliver a better service in the area I saw that was not good. When you don't care about your guys, you don't care about your customers, if you can improve in that. I mean, you don't need to invent a mousetrap or the next best thing. You just need to improve something a little bit. So if you provide value to somebody, you're going to do well. Eric Reno, actually I looked up to him years ago when I started this company, posted another video, emergency message. Really good information in there. There's contractors in my hometown I get along with. There's contractors in my hometown that hate me because I'm taking bread and butter from their kids' mouths. I don't look at it that way. Anyway, it's a really good video. Check it out. I got to get busy. I'm way behind schedule right now. I wanted to do a little something on this. Unfortunately, the worst roof ever videos do the best. But if it can help someone out there is my intent behind this. Again, I'm not going to say who. At first I didn't even know who. I found out through the grapevine, and it's not my job to name them. They're doing a pretty good job of that. So hopefully you're all having a great day. To your up and coming roofing projects, good luck to you. Hope some information in this video has helped you in some way. Comment down below if you've seen other horror stories like this or what course of action they should take. The reason I was here is to look at the Skylight, see if the Skylight could be salvaged, just redo the Skylight flashing kit. I think they just really need to be replaced at this point. So, all right, until next time, be safe, and we'll see you on the next video.